and we blew out the fuse, and yeah, that's what happened. I was right in the middle of the stream, and then everything just went blue. All the screens went dark. Computer fans stopped spinning. AC shut off. Light turned off. Ceiling fan turned off. Yeah. So, gotta learn not to push the electrical system in this house. How is everybody out there doing right now? I did get some people that tried to call in after my show went down. I wasn't ready to take calls then. What's up, Oscar Salgado? Uh, so I don't know why you guys are trying to call in when the show is obviously down. But anyway, I got everything resolved. So if somebody wants to try calling in real quick, and we'll see if we can do another interesting show. What's up, Brian? How are you doing? Saying Oscar Salgado. Just hanging in there, just trying to make it an interesting day. Trying to see if I can do an interesting call-in show. I'm just trying to grow my channel. I mean, just, same old, same old. Oh, now they don't want to call. Now that I'm back on, now that I'm ready to actually take calls, all of a sudden the lines oh, here we go. Finally, it's about damn time. This one's coming in from Texas. Hello, hello. You're live with Brian Fritz on Network 126. Is this Michael? Just hanging in there, just trying to do some shows and grow my channel right now. As I was explaining to Oscar Salgado.
I've actually talked to a lot of podcasters. You wouldn't believe it. I'm pretty good at this. But anyways, to go on. We're right now in this situation, as I know that's what we're talking about a lot. I really think that there's too much of a cop-out going on, in a way where it's just like they don't want to do anything for real to structurally even just change the way that everything just blows up when anything goes wrong, like by having a UBI or anything, They need to do something at least to make sure that there's like even the smallest safety net for people, Yeah. We'd be all better even if we just had like food stamps, or even if we're homeless, we don't at least go hungry. We could at least go to like McDonald's if we could use a card for anything that's food related,
Oh, I know, right? Most definitely. I totally agree. That there does need to be more of a safety net.
Yeah, because you know what? It kind of just feels like what they're doing is they're just trying to let everything take its natural course, because, eventually we're going to become like insurgents, and instead they're going to say that we're criminals. Because what happens if people get really hungry, and then all of a sudden in some states it's very conservative, like, I don't know, I took a candy bar. And then all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, you're a criminal, you took a candy bar. And then it was at a Walmart. And then they're like, oh, we know that, so you can never work at Walmart anymore. And it's the biggest employer,
Yeah.
And there are people like that out there that are hurting so bad. And the only place they can get a job at is Walmart. And they took a candy bar probably one time. And now they can never really get a job. Even worse, where they literally the job is there in front of them and they can't, because that's just how messed up it is.
Yeah, I totally agree. A couple interesting stories. Well, I guess it's kind of two separate instances at this Food for Less in Long Beach back when I was living with my dad. Two different times, because I used to hang out in the parking lot a lot, and I used to like go in and out and get stuff. And so anyway, a couple different times that I personally witnessed. I wish I had the camera rolling or at least ready or something, but I actually witnessed an employee come in running out of the front doors, being like, "Hey, like." I forget what she was saying exactly, but like I'm not stupid. I saw what you did, and if you ever come back, we're calling the cops.
Yeah,
something like that. I seen something like that happen twice, and someone was having I guess they were wearing sweatpants or something, and they had like chicken drumsticks or something like from the hot food section,
Yeah.
like just slipped down their sweatpants, and they just walked out, and the employees saw it apparently, and they just didn't give a fuck, and they just kept on walking through the parking lot and left.
And things like that are not the only thing going on, you know? Even though I'm all the way here in Texas, I'll say, as far away, I would say I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I was talking for a while to a girl way up in North California, you know, NorCal. And I think she like went crazy because all of a sudden she was evacuated from her house. I think her house burned on fire.
Oh shit! Yeah, there's been a lot of that
I'm
going
serious.
on. Yeah, it's been really
I
bad.
nearly got to. She wanted me to go and live with her. I almost was in a house that could have got on fire.
Wow, damn.
I know. She lives like right there by Reno. You know what I'm talking about? Where all the fire is.
More or less. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know there's something like how many like thousands of acres have already burned. It's wild. It's crazy.
And she has no parents. They died.
Ooh, damn.
And she has a house that was given to her and all this stuff. Like a worse situation than you. Where she's going to a school and it's only a stupid trade school for culinary, and it's too hard in this economy, especially for California.
Oh shit.
And she's had a triple bypass surgery.
Oh god damn.
I know. There's a lot of messed up stuff going on, and they just don't even care to look at people even like her.
Damn, that's terrible.
Instead, they're just going to go and raise the taxes on her because of the state, and then she's going to lose all her money.
Wow.
I know.
That's beyond terrible. That's just evil. God damn, like people don't deserve to go through shit like that, you know?
I know. And I'm trying to contact her and stuff just to see how she's doing, but she looks like she's mortified about that. And while a fire is going on in California, now the flood is coming to Louisiana.
Damn.
Yep. And all these different things are going on. I mean, this is a crazy world now. I mean, even for where I live on a good side of town pretty much, not the best. And I was walking down the street the other day, and the guy was just like offering me meth and stuff.
Oh shit! Wow.
Like right in my neighborhood, like literally, like I just got out. I got meth. You want to buy meth? I'm like, this is crazy.
Damn.
Like this is like a mostly like military area still, and that kind of stuff I see.
Wow.
Like crazy stuff. I know.
Society.
Like I
is
live
just...
like only about like less than a half a mile from a Baptist church, and there's people there that are like, you want to buy meth?
Yeah, so, society is degenerating at this point. It really is.
It is. Mhm.
It's
like,
it's pretty
speaking of
scary
your,
what's going on.
Speaking of the chorizo thing, my family has a company that did that for a long time.
Really?
Yeah, but they lost it because they wanted to live high on the hog with the money, and that's another thing too. Like that kind of stuff is going on where there's a lot of businesses going down and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The damage that's being done on the economy right now. And
yep.
Some people are saying this is a cover because the economy was already doomed even before COVID, honestly.
Yeah, it was. I saw in December there was like an Economist magazine that showed two people up at the top of a roller coaster about to go down. What does that tell you that they were saying already before?
Well,
they were already predicting a depression. You can go read, like they said it was the retail apocalypse back in January 2018.
Wasn't there like...
They already knew that.
Wasn't there like a bunch of like bankers and CEOs or people like that, like very high level people committing suicide or something all of a sudden for a bit?
Yeah, and you know what? The thing is this. What happened is Obama had kind of like at least kept sure that it wasn't like as bad as it could have really gotten. He could have done a lot better. I'm not saying that. But then what happened is in 2017, the reason why some people like me already had this idea of what was going to happen, because they had always said, well, Obama did what he had to just so that way he doesn't get to the worst. And Donald Trump went and basically reformed everything and made it so where they can play with our money again and give us these stupid, faulty mortgage loans. And so that already had spelled what the future was, because they basically had said, we can't go and have any other recession or it would automatically be a depression because we never even built back up from it, because we never want to do it the right way. We never want to just be like, you know what, why don't we just start slow and have a living wage and do all this stuff. I mean, I understand all that because my ex-wife is Australian and she can live an hour away from what their New York City is, Melbourne. And yet she only works at a factory. She's a high school dropout. She was here in your situation. And she's like, I'm getting out here. I'm going back home. And now she already makes $23 an hour again. She doesn't get taxed that much more than us. And she gets a month off every year.
Really?
And right now, she's probably getting like a recurring almost $2,000 on top of that every month while working. And at 36 hours, after 36 hours, she gets the double pay. She gets the overtime. Gets paid double.
Oh, wow.
Just working at the Australian McCormick Spice Factory, and that's all she does. And they'll do that. They'll give her the union. They'll give her everything, and she doesn't even have a high school diploma or or their equivalent of a GED.
Huh.
And it's all the freaking way in Australia, and they'll do stuff like that. And we're saying that we can't even do an inch better when we're the richest country.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah. But the main problem is we got to want to start to pay more taxes because then we got to have more money drummed up for at least a safety net for whenever things happen.
Yeah, really.
And that's what's a lot you will see a lot in these other countries because I learned a lot because my my ex-wife had family in different countries that people they're never really allowed to know how these countries work because they don't want us to get cozy to any other ideas that are kind of like socialists or anything. And I know there's a lot of things that are going on. Like, like they always want to say, like, if we had unions everywhere and if we had legalized marijuana, destroy America. Okay? But isn't that what Canada does a lot? And they're getting $2,000 a month.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just, this whole world is just upside down.
And they don't care to give them the $2,000. Yeah, but look at this, too. How would we do that? They're getting $2,000 a month, and they could be taking some of that money to go buy weed. And they don't care. They do that, and they're still doing better than we are. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I see that as wrong. I'm just saying here people's heads would be exploding. You mean we're giving $2,000 a month to people who could be smoking weed all month with that legally? And yet they don't care. Instead, they say, you know what? On your off time, you can do it even if you're a cop.
Oh, wow.
I know. And then here we are in Bizarro land where, are you kidding? We can't do anything. And then right now, Germany's getting a UBI.
Shit.
I know. But that's just because they don't, it's a big game. It's football. They always say that the real reason why they don't try to do anything is because they saw what happened with, the Social Security and Medicare, and they don't want, they don't want someone else to take like I'm the one who did it. Like they want to be the Lyndon B. Johnson and all that. So it's like they may not want it, but then again, at the same time, if they do, they're not really going to do it unless they can be like, who did it? You know what I'm saying? Who was the one that was for it? Like how Republicans, as soon as anything was starting to be done, they were trying to consider it patriotism. They had to go and try and rebrand it so that way it didn't seem democratic, like the Democrats. And it's just stupid game. It's like they just want all this worship and this admiration and different things, and I don't know, man. It's just a lot of stupid stuff, and they just don't want to do anything to make anything work. Go and even just give everybody food stamps or nothing. I don't know. I just kind of feel like the food stamp situation should at least happen. I don't know why they had to go and make it so much harder just for people to even get food stamps. But there's just everything's falling apart, and who knows how much worse it's going to get. Because right now, when this flood happens and the fire at the same time, and they don't even have money for that, how are they going to afford what they're going to spend on FEMA?
Yeah, it's a good point.
And so it's just going to make it even worse right now before even later. And I don't know. All I know is that they have to try to do something already, because if you don't, then you're just going to let everything get bad. You can't You got to go and drill out do the root canal before you lose the whole tooth.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Just all I'm saying is that while it is true that every country is going through something, and especially the third world countries, but as far as first world countries go, we're the one that's actually getting like clobbered. While all these other countries are like, "Hey, look at us! Look how we're doing," and all that, and they're already like, "Oh, we can go back to McDonald's inside and eat and all that now," and we're just here all like, "Oh, we're stupid. We're going to keep staying with the virus, and we're not going to do anything, and we're going to cut people's hours, and cut their pay, and cut everything, and cut our hair." And, I'm just saying, they're cutting everything, dude.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's just here. And they want to say, like, oh, there's a certain way that everything works. Okay, these other places, they exist. They just don't care in America anymore. I don't know.
It's pretty sad. Yeah, that we're just going downhill. I'm just seeing things getting worse and worse and crazier and just more difficult and just more struggling and pain and suffering and all that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess the main thing I kind of feel, just as a conclusionary, like a conclusion to come, to put this to an end point, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I kind of just feel like they are blowing this out of proportion on purpose to try to hide the fact that there was going to be depression. They're like, oh, it was a virus because everything had to be closed. Because how many other viruses came just very recently with bird flu and H1N1?
Yeah, I think.
And then all of a sudden, this one just takes off and goes immediately into 5 billion people and infects them. And I'm just like, I kind of feel like maybe they did something to speed it up because they wanted to be able to like be like, okay, this is it. Because what happened to when they were like all crazy about Zika virus and they were all showing the off commercial, you're going to watch out for the Zika virus, the mosquitoes are coming, and none of that took off.
Yeah, and it's like, and there was no masks or anything like that, or
they couldn't do anything about masks because it was the mosquitoes.
Well,
and that still didn't do anything.
Well, but you know what I'm saying though, like mask or the mask equivalent against mosquitoes, like, and like the same way that they're pushing like hand sanitizer and alcohol and all this kind of stuff, they could have been pushing the mosquito spray.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, the stupid thing is on that end, if you really look at it, they're trying to say now, oh, Donald Trump should have tried to like deal with this the way Obama dealt with Ebola. But Ebola, you have to literally touch somebody and put your hands in your mouth and all that stuff. It isn't something you just contact by saying, hi, how are you? And someone dispelling droplets into your face. And I don't really think that they even really care. I think it's a big thing just to go and try and take the money. And that's what they're doing. And the reason why they don't want to do anything that would make more sense is because every time they try to make another stimulus check, they're always planning for how many trillions of dollars they can give to these companies. So they might have already planned this to try to be like, you know what? How are we going to be able to loot the Treasury this time around, like we did when we had to when they had to stimulate the economy last time when Obama came in, without it seeming like we're just taking the money again. Well, we got to give people a little bit of money. So then while we get only $1,200, they're getting like $2 trillion. And they're doing that just to prop up all these companies. And you know what? That's technically socialism for the big business. And so they get to stay around and they get to be all, this is the greatest economy ever, as far as when you're looking at the numbers like that. And really, it's not. They're just doing that because, I don't know, I kind of feel like it's, in a way, a trick. I'll tell you something. I have a family member that they said she has cancer like 5 different times and all these different reasons why the virus should have taken her. And she had to get tested again later because later on when they tested her, the first time they said that she had the virus. Second time they said, well, you probably never had it.
Damn.
Then she probably never had it, even with all the different times that they've taken parts of her colon out and her stomach and all that. And somehow, if she would have really had the virus, she couldn't have never been immune to that. There would have been no way. Her body doesn't even have the ability to even eat something a lot. The time she eats, she throws up. So there would be no way for the acid in her stomach to eat the virus. and still they said, so if she had it, she really would have had it, and she would have died already. And if she did, I don't know, but the whole point is the testing is not accurate. And I have a brother that is one of those types of people that has like really bad like asthma, or he used to, and he works at the jail as an X-ray technician, and then all the viruses going around, and he hasn't even gotten it either, and he's like 45. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of hype about the virus because there's testing that's inaccurate, and they're using to try to hype everything up. And I don't know. I think maybe they did it on purpose. Supposedly Joe Rogan was saying, I saw on his podcast, they say that there's this one test that they have in the White House. It takes 30 minutes, and that's the only most accurate. All these other ones are giving a lot of false positives because this is all new. So, like, they're feeding on that. They're not even trying to be like, well, we shouldn't jump to a conclusion. They're allowing that. So that right there, what I'm saying is, what if that's what they keep doing? Like, oh, sorry, the fire is bigger again. We have to run away. So they can keep distracting us from the fact that there was a depression. And I think, that's just obvious. They're just trying to keep us from looking at the fact that there was a depression coming our way.
Oh yeah, I think that too. It was coming whether COVID was a thing or not.
Yep. And then they made it worse because instead of dealing with their own stupid ruse the right way, they made it to where we're as bad as we are now, and none of the bubbles that were supposed to cause the depression to happen have popped. So once the real depression happens on top of this recession that we're having, it could be even worse.
Oh, yeah.
Because we haven't had all the different debt bubbles pop yet on top of this. We just have the fact that the companies have gone down because people couldn't go in and do business, so they had to close. So imagine once the real depression comes on top of that because they try to go away. They're cushioning themselves now, but it's kind of like putting on all this different gear to get prepared for a car accident. Something's still going to happen.
Yeah, really. Yep.
But it's like they're being crash test dummies. Remember those toys growing up? Where you purposely took the toy and you broke it and you're like, yeah, and I can put it back together again. That's what they seem to be doing. The economists and all these people in the stock market and all that, stockbrokers, they're just playing around like they're the stupidest crash test dummy cartoon.
Yeah, pretty much. This whole world's just gone insane.
Well, see, I think the other aspect is that they plan for it to collapse because one part of the stock market is only good at playing when they know that something's going to happen, or when they, and the other ones are better at guessing what it is going to happen. They just keep taking turns. Because you know what? Every single time there's another election cycle, something dramatic will happen. And there's got to be a reason for that. There can't just be like this magical thing. There can't just be like, well, there might be another president again, so now there has to be another like economic depression or something.
Yeah.
There's too much structure to the madness. You couldn't just do that.
Yeah.
There's no weather to the economy like the way there is to the reason why there's a fire somewhere. So I don't know the reason, but the reason why I really think about this is because it's like if when you see, like right now this is the worst time ever, because like now we have the potential that there could be like a Joe Biden. And I'd rather have Joe Biden than Donald Trump, but the Democratic Party, they had all these like Republican warmongers there, like, oh, you should vote for us because Republicans like us, What are they going to do next? Oh, vote for us. We're going to get Donald Trump to do it. We're going to pay him $1 billion. That's not a good sign. You don't want to have these idiots like as your proof. Like, oh, come with us. We're together with these people who keep destroying everything. There's no difference. There's only one party, and all they really care about is going to war.
Oh yeah.
And taking the oil.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
That's all they ever really do. Every time it's just always this whole thing where they try to promise you something that never happens, and they just I think a lot of times people are not even really politically engaged. I think that a lot of people are just like, either are you for abortion or against it? I'm pro life, so I gotta vote Republican. I'm pro-choice, so I'm going to vote Democrat. That's all we vote for, really? That's sad.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And it's just, we need to have more democracy in this country. But one thing I've heard is I think that unions would really help this country a lot. And that if they just finally became like to the point of working in our Department of Labor or something, a lot of things would have been better. They would have already had and negotiated something. I don't know. We could do a lot better if we just had unions. Even if we had enough unions, we wouldn't even need to raise the minimum wage or something. But we just don't have any structure anymore, you know? How do you expect the economy to work when it's like saying, oh, you know what? Nobody's going to be there to give you a fine if you run the red light. And people are going to run the red light and they'll be like, oh, I made it this time. I ran the red light. How many times can we run the red light in this economy? And they're just like, oh, but you got to have it a free market. You don't want to have anybody there telling you there's got to be a red light. It doesn't make any sense. So that way when we all meet to the intersection of this economy, we'll be fine. Because nobody's going to be obeying the traffic signs. I don't know. It just drives me insane, dude.
Yeah.
How do they want to tell us, you got to do this and now there's got to be all this structure, and then they don't want to have structure. They want us to tell us that everything's got to work a certain way, but it's got to be that we can do whatever we want as soon as we have like $1 billion. And then everything's going to be fine, though. We can do whatever we want. We can party with all the money, and it'll be fine. You know? It's like having parents that are like, oh, you need to take life serious and quit partying, and they're really the ones partying out there with that Jeffrey Epstein and all his pedophile stuff and doing drugs, and they're like, well, you got to be serious. And you know, I'm like, what is it? What kind of example is that? If we can really see what they're doing, it's like someone going and being like, oh, yeah, oh, this is good coke. Oh, but don't do what we do, man. Don't do it. And then they're the ones running everything.
Yeah, really.
It just, and then how do they do that? How could you, like, imagine yourself, you're there and you're being ridiculous and crazy, and then you're just expecting people to be like, oh yeah, I'll listen to you. I'm gonna go and do go to school and get a good job and do these things or whatever it is that they want us to do. You know, be a good citizen. You know, do things in moderation, diet. And there they are, just being grotesque like they are. But
yeah, I wish I had the answers to fix everything, but I just don't know what to do or even what to say. Everything's just a mess.
Here.
It's just it's beyond repair. It's a clusterfuck.
All I know is it's finally getting to the point of what I thought a long time ago, which people are starting to say. I hear said by some people who really have a lot of life experiences. People now probably should be worried about people breaking into their house probably to go and take your food, not to really go and take your TV, your food.
Oh, yeah. It could very well easily get to that point.
Yeah.
If things keep going the way they're going, oh, most definitely.
Yeah. And I don't understand why they can't just do something about just making sure nobody gets kicked out of their houses. What are they going to do when everybody's just out on the street all like Skid Row but everywhere? How are they going to handle that? Are they really going to have all these people who do have money going around and be like, oh, wow, honey, look at the homeless people. How nice. Isn't this great? And they're just there, and everything's kind of like the way you see Brooklyn, where everybody's so pissed off and homeless, and everybody's like, oh, my God, you son of a bitch. I told you I tried my best, honey. And everybody's just, going crazy. That's pretty much basically going to be everywhere. Like the way you see when it's portrayed when they in a comedy where there's like someone throwing the TV out of the apartment window and all that.
Oh, shit.
And then they're going to go and they're going to have to see that because that's especially going to happen where they live the most, where they're going to live in these places where they're so expensive, and that means that that's going to happen there more. And they're not even thinking about the fact of that matter. They're going to get back to that point where there's going to be people having to get the cops, like, I don't know, I mean, couldn't you imagine, like, there could be homeless people, like, trying to, like, sweep on your grass, like, your grass. And they're not even doing anything about this. They're going to let it get so bad it's going to get like that again. Like the way they say in places like in California or New York, where some people are just, they have homeless people on their freaking grass. I mean, I think I saw someone trying to camp out in my neighborhood recently.
Really?
In their car or something.
Oh, wow.
I know. And then one time I went out for a cigarette at night, and a cop stopped me out of nowhere, and I was like, well, what happened, sir? I'm just smoking a cigarette. And he was looking for someone, and I was like, oh, should I be worried and go home? No, they're just looking for a homeless guy. Just because he happened to be somewhere he wasn't supposed to be. They were going after him with sirens on at like 2 in the morning.
Shit.
In a regular neighborhood. Just looking for a guy because someone called the police on him. And the cop's like, oh, he's no threat. But then he keeps going around looking anyway. Like he's like, oh, I got to do this. Somebody called, and they're taxpayers, and I'm supposed to represent them. I'm supposed to serve. And so they're creating law right there. They're just basically saying they don't like that this homeless guy's there, so it's got to be wrong. That's stupid.
Wow.
That means people are going to end up getting arrested for the stupidest shit ever. You don't want to be homeless because the cops are your worst enemy. They're going to give you 80 million fines over the span of 20 years if it lasts that long.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people flood your state, because the cops don't go and give people fines everywhere they turn around like that. Like Austin is like that. Austin is the most liberal in Texas. So all the homeless people go to Austin, and if they were to just quit all that, then they wouldn't have this problem with people hoarding to wherever they were, feeling like they were safer from the police and not getting fined.
Huh.
Because a lot of the people that are homeless in certain states like yours are really coming from everywhere to be like, you know what, I got to go somewhere to avoid getting a criminal record for being homeless. Where do I go? And they start looking for these places like that.
Yeah, no shit.
Because they don't want to get a criminal record for being homeless.
Yeah,
It
really.
was only like last year that they started to go and say you couldn't be considered trespassing. You know, the way people are like living in those the invisible homeless.
Yeah,
Invisible homeless people here used to be trespassers here up until about last year.
Huh.
So if you were to go and start doing that, if one day Walmart goes and says something about you, then you're screwed. And, oh, we can't hire you. You were trespassing when really you were just trying to, like, survive in your freaking SUV in a parking lot for a night.
Yeah, no, really. I've seen that, you know.
Yeah.
I've even
And that's
slept in the car
exactly-
before. You know, back when I was doing Uber, you know, that's what some people don't understand. They're like, oh, just get a delivery job and this and this and that, or you know, when people were trying to urge me to keep doing Uber, I'm like, you guys don't understand. Like, I used to sleep in that car because I was like, you know, trying to avoid going back to my dad's kitchen that bad. So I tried sleeping in the car for a while, and I just, yeah, that didn't work out.
See, but that's the thing. They know that, and they got to do something about that because it got to the point where they had to look at that. And so they, you know, fix things to where they won't give people fines as easy in certain states and all that. But here, I was homeless for a while. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I was really bad to ever think about that, because even just to be like in a position that you were in temporary, I never really wanted to be in that. Because I know here, there's a lot more people that are screwed up than what you think. But you look out there and it's like nobody really wants to be actually home, like seen, because they know that they could get in trouble so easily over anything. I was in the bus, and I was in a regular neighborhood, not even one that's like by any main street or nothing, just a regular neighborhood. And just as I was at a stop sign, there was a cop stopping different people, even one that looked like he had cerebral palsy. Just because he had a bag, you had to go interrogate him.
Oh, wow.
Right in the middle of the day, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I wish I would have been there.
Evening.
I could have, you know, been there with my camera with that, you know, powerful zoom lens, zooming into everything and capturing it all in film.
Well, they're just doing that because of the fact of the matter that it's getting to the point to where they're antsy because everybody's quarantined, and so crime is going down. So they're like, I don't know, man, let's check every single person's bag and see if we can find people who have drugs. And I started to think that, so I paid attention. And I know there's this one grocery store on a certain side of town that they have like canines going around the whole parking lot all day.
Shit. Yeah.
And they're just doing that. They just want. There's just all these different things that are happening on Screwy because they got to go and create money. way or a reason for them to be valid. You know, like their own work, their worth. And so you see a lot of stupid stuff like that. That's why, you know, I'm glad that you boys stayed in California, because in reality, if some of these certain things would have happened anyway to you, you might have been someone that was trespassing. You might have been someone that was in another state where the cops arrested you for the stupidest thing ever. And then you would have probably been there saying, well, guys, I can't really get much of a job anyway because I have a record.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Damn.
And you have a lot more. You have a lot. I mean, that's what I know. I have a friend that's in a worse situation in England because he's too expensive a part of California. He's in Santa Barbara because his dad retired there, and you know, he couldn't even get a job at a gas station without them trying to say, well, you know, we have so much crime happening. You got to sign that you're going to be responsible for all this, because you know, it's crazy enough over there. I've heard, you know, where there could be a police chase and the car just like plows right through a gas station or something, and different things that can happen because of how crazy it is. And I've always talked to this guy. He's been in and out being like homeless at different times and all that. And it's just you know, nothing's really happened to him because the police aren't they're not given all this extreme power. I mean, they can do a lot of things, but they're not going to give you a fine as easily. Like here, there are some things you could even, you know, like, I know someone who got a record, right? And my friend got a record for something too eventually, and he was able to go and like get it to be hidden from employers. And here it's like just the simple possession of a controlled substance automatically made them a felon here.
Oh, wow.
So while he gets to go away with probably, I don't know what it was, something to do with his girlfriend, could have been sexual, whatever, and that was it. He gets another chance at life. And here you could just whatever could happen, paraphernalia, and it was the wrong kind of paraphernalia. Oh my God. And you're a felon. And then you can probably almost never work anywhere.
Shit.
But you are still better off where you're at, in a way, or anywhere that's at least as liberal in that kind of way, because it's bizarro land in a lot of places. And while you're seeing a lot of shit, you see it, but you're not actually becoming a part of it. Like here, if you start going and you see anything, you get away from it, because then the police have all this power to start going and be like, you did this or that. You can never really do anything about it. So always remember that. That as bad as it is, always make sure that you don't go and end up anywhere where the police are just ready to go and call you criminal.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that's everywhere, but they're not given as much power in California.
Huh.
You'll see them more, but you know what? There's only 250 cops here, and they're still, or some some kind of small amount, like not even as much as they could have. I don't know. And still, people are that like affected by the cops here because they know they can give you a ticket for just about anything.
Shit. That's fucked up.
So that's what I'm saying. I know, because the only way to really, really handle this is not just by surviving by food. The way to handle this is also survive by making sure that we're still employable. You know, we have all these different things, because once you become homeless for real, there's a whole different world to it. In all these different ways. Like, you know, that's why some people, they need to really have respect, because one thing I'm going to touch on real quick is when you're homeless, you have no way of being employable. Where are you going to go to shave and stuff? We're going to go take a shower. You're just going to keep going to work out of your car all the time. Hi, I'm here. I stink. It's okay now.
I know, right?
And people are like, oh, why don't you just pull your bootstraps? And I'm like, yeah, well, why don't I pull them all the way over my head and use it as a noose already?
I know, really, real talk. Yeah, no
it
shit.
just drives me crazy. I know. And it's just there's all kinds of things everywhere. I've seen a lot. My family went to church. I've seen the youth pastor get the girl in the class pregnant and go when her family is gone and argue with her and accidentally stab her to death out of anger. And
shit.
A person that ran was a bus driver and a substitute teacher at a school church, and he was caught sodomizing a kid, and they thought they were going to take it to court, but the kid was all sad, and he was like, "Oh, somebody just gave me a car," and he gave the mom the car and got away, and people who did all kinds of crazy stuff, like, and that's in a church, and that was before all this stuff. I mean, there's just, I don't know, this world just goes to the dumps, and that's all I can say.
Yeah, that this world is pretty much swirling the drain of the toilet right now.
Yeah, but bottom line, what I'm saying is that I really do think that this is really like a cover-up for the most part, and I do not like as if the virus isn't real. I just think that they're using it because all these other viruses were real, but what if the difference is they just purposely want to spread it more? Even if they wouldn't made it seem like it was from China, they could do it. And then that's one. The other thing I feel is like we need to really do something to make it so that way things don't really matter when they happen because we're separate from everything. We shouldn't be automatically penalized for something wrong the government does. We should be in our own world where we're like, okay, I'm still working my job. What I do matters. If you screwed up, not me. You know?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like, oh, the government got cancer, so I have cancer. And it should be that they need to go and take a look at how they can ensure that people aren't going to get into more trouble because of what's going on. Because a lot of people are going to get into more trouble that could cause them to be unemployable. Or they're going to go and have things happen like overdoses and all that. There's already a scientist saying maybe we should put lithium in the water just to save people from thinking about like suicide. Like literally,
wow.
like the way they put fluoride in the water and put lithium in the water.
Oh God. I
know.
I already don't drink that shit. I go and buy the the filtered water, the reverse osmosis filtered stuff.
That's actually really a good idea because and that's another thing. I saw a thing on John Oliver. If you ever seen his show last week, Sunday, whatever it is, John Oliver was talking about how the reason why you see the newer generations kind of like more peppier and adapting to things faster is because they come from more of a regulated time where they never had the lead and the paint in the wall and all those different things. And so the more you keep away from all these different kinds of toxicities, the more you keep your brain from being polluted. And that we're more polluted, and so sometimes we don't realize how much that we're kind of like not jumping, snapping to what we should really be, like our intelligence or our level of being able to articulate and all that, and how well that we can have abstract thought and logic, and I don't know. I'm just saying, basically, there's a whole thing about like if you stay away from as many chemicals as you can like that, it's better for you. They tested when they first started to get off of lead paints and different things and all that, and they saw that the IQ level of people was dramatic or something. But yeah, all I can say is just this is a messed up time, and for so many reasons, and I don't know. All I know is they say this could go on for 18 months. Could probably go on longer. Spanish flu went on for like 3 years, but I don't want to be going on too long. Maybe somebody else wants to call or anything. I just kind of like just trying to say the best that I can. My reason why I'm kind of like aloof and spaced out is I've been smoking a lot of weed lately because of how bad everything is.
Oh, I totally 100% sympathize, or should I say 420% sympathize and understand.
420.
Yeah. I totally get that. But they really got to do something right about now, and they don't really seem like they want to do anything. They just left everything on vacation and said not even do another stimulus check for 30 days. They don't even care right now. Yep.
They don't care about anything. Everything's on ice right now. Who cares? We got to go on vacation. We got to have a good time while you're out there, out in the middle, trying to take a shit in the woods because you're homeless now.
I know, right? Or everywhere is going to turn into like San
Yeah,
Francisco, where people are just taking a
but
shit on the sidewalk.
we're gonna become like Japan, and we're gonna have like bathhouses for homeless people.
Oh wow, that's just going to become the norm. Just bathhouses and
Man,
shelters everywhere, and food banks with like miles of long lines. That's going to be the norm every day. It's not going to be going to shop,
yeah, and
going
then
to the
there's gonna
grocery
be like,
store, shopping with your family anymore, all happy. No, it's going to be standing in a food bank line for like 6 to 8 hours or 10 hours or more, waiting for
yeah,
your rations.
and then there's gonna be people who are gonna do fucked up shit because what I've seen before, what made me think remember this is, so I'm gonna say this. I saw, do you remember when A&E used to have all these different shows all the time about stupid criminals and all that?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
they had this one show one time where they were showing that this ex-Marine dude knew what he was doing. So back when they had all these circuit cities go down, he saw that there was one by a Toys R Us, and he cut a hole in the wall where he could put it back. And he went in there and he took those baby monitors so he could hear what they were doing. And whenever they were gone, he'd sneak in there and get food and all that. And then he'd act like he didn't have any money or nothing and was all clean cut and was trying to get sympathy from the church. Like that guy gets to be hailed as like some kind of a wow, look what he did, even though he got caught on A&E, and he's really doing what people are accusing you of doing.
Huh. Wow.
And yet people don't even look at that. They just said to give him a show because they're old, because how he did it was really clever. But you know what? That's probably going to happen again. Because if you have access to another store, if you just break into another one, they're going to probably do that.
So you were talking about a Circuit City next to what, Toys R Us?
Yeah, so we could cut a hole in the wall and get in, take the baby monitors and know when they're coming, and basically be like, okay, they can't see me now. I'm going to get in there, and then they don't know that he's stealing because he's going back through the hole to the
Oh, huh.
Circuit City.
Well, because
And then he's getting all.
What
happened?
Well, I was just gonna say, because the Toys R Us that I briefly worked at, that was in late 2006. Yeah, that was November 2006 when it was a little bit after I had gotten hired at Leela's, and I wasn't starting to get paid yet. So I figured, well, I want to start getting paid something. So I picked up that job at Toys R Us, just seasonal for during Christmas. But anyway, that was right next to a Circuit City
Yeah.
over there in Pomona.
But, yeah. Are people already starting to live in, like, old abandoned businesses already over there?
I mean, I don't go in there myself, but I've seen like signs of entry, on some, certain buildings, closed down, boarded up buildings. I'll see like, I actually have seen homeless people go in and out of those. Like they'll move the board of wood and then go in and, so it looks like nothing's going on, kind of thing.
Yeah.
People are doing what they got to do to survive.
They are, and see, that's why they got to do something better about it, or else it's going to be dangerous for people.
Yeah.
They don't care about doing something about that.
Yeah, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Like, the way it's going with this looming wave of evictions that we've got coming, something like 30 million evictions could be on the horizon coming very soon.
Yeah.
There's been
and
so many people that didn't make their July rent.
Yeah.
Already.
And all they care about is, and we got the greatest 5G network out there. Come pick our company. And like, how could I afford that? What do I do?
I know, right?
Have you watched TV? Because I know I have these ways to watch pirate cable TV, and I do that. And all they're doing is just all the time, like, we're together alone, and all these different like things that make you feel like some kind of bizarro world. You know what? Here's the thing, and I could show you pictures sometime, but I'm just saying that because I took a picture of it. I was watching, remember Adult Swim at night on Cartoon Network?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The economy must be really bad because for a while there, like maybe even 15 minutes, they replaced the Adult Swim logo with an M&M's logo, like advertisement during the actual Family Guy.
What?
Yes, that's how freaking bad the economy is.
Oh, wow. That's nuts.
Yes. And they're just doing all these different things to just try to keep TV glued, like, strapped, like, stay together, like, and bandaged up.
Wow. So, so I guess I shouldn't feel too bad over here struggling, as a small YouTube channel here.
No, but what I do know is that one podcast I would like you to see, because one of the main guys that actually runs it is a really cool guy from Madura. But they're closer in Louisiana right now, but it's called Deep Fat Fried. And that's what that's like like a really good podcast. They just basically they take a lot of topics and they try to really nail it, because a lot of times when people try to present things, they just want to kind of like censor everything when they go to talk about it. They don't tell you everything. You have to go read everything yourself. Like, the way that the difference between when you go to public school and then you go to like higher education and telling more. Well, these people, that's what they do. They just, and everything that they do, they're honest in what they're doing. They're reading the real articles and all stuff, like when you read things manually instead of when it's like censored a little bit or withheld information, kind of like,
Yeah.
And they do have their little stoner thing about it, where they're just like, okay, let's see, what can we say about the Greek gods, and they nail all these different things, and it's a thing. But basically, what I take from that is one of the greatest ways to run a podcast is to like really just go and talk about things, because a lot of the ways that things are done in America, they don't really want to tell you how it really is. And a lot of people want to hear that.
Point. Yeah.
Yeah, so take a look at that, because that's right there. I've always just, I don't know, there's something about it. They do basically what you already wanted to do at some point. They have a thing where they do flash fried, they talk about the news, whatever. It's just people are listening to them because they're just being straight up about it. They're not giving you some kind of like candy-coated anything. They're just real easy about it. They just did all the research, and they have their where they deep fry topics, and the other thing is when they go and they do the news and all that. But yeah, and if you keep working at it, you can get a podcast going. The only reason why some people they have trouble getting a podcast going is because they have to already be well known. So some people they're already like big fans, so when they start it, they can just go and do it. Because some things, like Joe Rogan, he just gets up there and it's really the celebrities talking.
Oh yeah, well everybody knows who he is for the most part.
That too, but it really at the same time he's still just like having a They're taking the conversation. He's not interviewing them. It's like they're interviewing Joe Rogan.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you think about it, yeah. So just look at that. Sorry, my glasses fell off my face. Anyway, yeah, you gotta look at these different podcasts and see how people go at it. But basically, there's different ways. Like there's also like the way that the drunken peasants do it. You can do ones that are already done good live, episodic, and sometimes where you're talking to the fans. And then you can have somewhere it's like where you're just like it's always what you do, and you're just there, and you just have different parts of your show where you're like, oh, let's talk about the crazy things in the news, and you kind of show different things from the news, reels or clips, whatever. But just remember, you got to be careful how you use whatever you put on your show, on your channel, so they don't demonetize you. Where you're showing too much of a, you got to pause it every once in a while and blabber on for a long time. Yeah, and I would honestly, get into doing a podcast. I don't have anything to set up for that, but I'm just saying that because I really want you to be able to do good with a podcast, because I see so many people doing it, and then they're doing the regular episodic things, and then when they go and they talk to people, they're getting all this like, oh, I just got $3.05 from Bob, and I just got $2 from Jill, and you just got to get to that point.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Or getting to the point where I can also grow that AdSense revenue, where it's all automatically being wired to my account just from ads, basically.
Well, if a comedian like Jimmy Dore can be a comedian, but then also go on about the news, and so can you, because who's supposed to really be taking a comedian seriously? And he just recently ended up on Fox News even, with Tucker Carlson kind of talking, asking him about what he thinks about politics and what went on in the DNC.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, at the party recently. Yeah. So you gotta just really push and just make sure that your show is quality, because then after a while it gets discovered. You just push yourself out there. And if you really push yourself out there, I just see it working. I mean, he originally came from the Young Turks, but it could work. You just gotta really you gotta just really find your way. Like, to really articulate yourself right and be on the find the right stance, and to really go and be for the right causes and all that. Because right now, like, I can see that you're like really good. You're for these causes, and you're really thinking about how bad everything is. And that's what some of these podcasters are doing, and what they're talking about. So you got to kind of like go and see what people are saying, and or what's going on, and take what you take and how you see it in your experiences and everything, and try to become a part of that movement, because it kind of is a movement going on right now about exactly what you want to talk about. And they're making money doing podcasts all the time. They're like, can you believe what they're doing? But look, they wanted to try to arrest all these protesters and take them to jail, but the bus drivers wouldn't drive them. And that could be you talking about that.
Yeah, huh? That's a good point.
But yeah, do like I do, because I don't know. I just don't think I'm the right person. I don't have the autonomy to do a podcast. I don't have the voice, this, that, and all that. But I watched podcasts a lot, and I've paid attention. You do that, you can figure out very easily, like, how you can, develop your own style. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say, I think you yourself, you're capable of doing a podcast, I think.
Well, the main reason why is because I learned a lot of stuff. Because since I was like 13, I had this friend online I would talk to all the time from Santa Barbara, and he knew all these crazy things because of that. Because sometimes if you live certain places, you'll know a lot of crazy things. Like how he told me he saw the Michael Jackson with the top down in his car, or all his kids in the back of his car, or some kind of like top down. There's things you can find, all kinds of information. You wouldn't imagine the scale of it. And so then you can go back and you start, able to talk about all these things, because you know all these wild things. And not only that, my life experiences, and there are people in my family, but that's just all it is. You just got to really have a higher level of knowing, because a lot of times there's people who want to go and talk about stuff, and they don't know anything because they come from the dirt, man. They come out where the tumbleweeds, and they don't really know what's going on. And that's why a lot of those people tend to be the people that are ruining America, because they think they know what's going on in America when they live out in the middle of the sticks. I mean, they literally would probably say, I live out in the sticks. Well, what do you know? You live out in the sticks. And that's why someone like you could really do something if you just keep trying, especially when you get more money and you can see what's going on in California and apply yourself into it, because then that's when you get to be able to do it. And you could do multiple things. Like what I was going to do, if I was going to live in California, when I was going to do it, I was like, you know what, I'll just go and start eventually going to all the different shows and getting in and being the interviewer. Because the thing with me is I have long hair and a beard, and I have the right way to look for that. So then I can just go around to all these different, like when I have different technology shows in LA and all that. And then just because people wanted to see that and I interviewed that, I just do it. Because everything keeps coming so corporate and canned, and all these logos and all this overproduction, and people just want you to get to the freaking fucking point. And they want you to really just go and tell them directly and not mammer on for 5 million hours. Just be like, this is a great product here. Look at it. Look what it is size, and it weighs this much and all stuff. Like you see CNET do. But not everybody stays the same like CNET all the time. You got to really go on and find your way and figure out what it is. But see, one thing that happened is we got fucked over a lot. There's a reason why this podcast is really good. The Deep Fat Fried is the guy from Madura is a little bit older than us. He's got all these stories and times from when everything was still better. He got to go and be one of those people who BS his way into an IT job at a school, even as hard as it is in California, at a high school. And he has all these crazy stories of being like that super slacker guy that got away with everything. You know, those ones that people want to hear about, people who are kind of like a Ferris Bueller. But you got to find, but see, that's the thing. Then you get to have all these people love you because you have all these stories where you're like, I remember when I was growing up, and there would be people who would be what do you call it, when you do beer runs and all that, and you know, all these different stories of things you tell from the way things used to be. And the thing what happened with us is a lot our life got put on ice for a while, where we were just there, like you know, while you were in the kitchen, I was in the garage next to my kitchen all my life, you know. But I'll tell you, don't feel as bad, because I know I've gone through probably even worse in a way, because I always made sure that what I got from my mom until she died, like yours, is just to go and do everything. Okay, I'm going to have all the channels on the package on the TV, do everything. And then just I rode everything until it went away. Drove the Honda Accord, 2012 Honda Accord, everything. But one thing that happened to me that didn't happen to you is, as bad as my ex-wife saw it, because she's Australian, and saw how bad it was and how much she could take me to a country that even had legitimate trade schools where the government accredited, where you could just start off small no matter what. And she just flat out just couldn't take the way it was in America so much, and went home. And when she went home, she didn't even finish to give me like paperwork to go to Australia. She just left. She didn't even divorce me. I'm still married to her 5 years later.
Oh, shit.
I should have been where I could have easily had the same life that I said that she had. And we could have been hoarding all the money in her mom's house. No, we had enough money to pay for a house because, you know, we were living with almost no bills. And she just sat there and she didn't even call me once every so many years.
Damn.
I know. I've gone through a lot. And the main reason why what was different was I think we probably have probably somewhat of a similarity. And what I'm saying to you is my mom took me out of school because I was depressed a lot, because it was even worse for me because my mom had her first marriage and all this stuff, whatever. I mean, it was my angry older half brothers on that. And they took me out of school, and they failed at homeschooling me and didn't want to get in trouble for, oh, he's not really making progress. So I was left to fend for myself entirely. I didn't even get to have any kind of like a time where there was something that was going to happen or whatever. Yeah. So I'm surprised I even ever done a lot of the things that I did, but I've always known better to go and take what I can while I can, because of the fact of the matter how bad it's been. Because for me, a lot of the reason why I couldn't even get just the worst of jobs is because, you know, they were always looking at me like, why didn't you have a job ready then? And because for the longest time I didn't even have, you know, high school diploma or nothing. But yeah, it was. I've gone through, and I just want to let you know that as the last thing, because you know I think I'm finally someone who's gone through maybe worse, maybe a lot worse, because the way that my family they didn't care about me. I was just my mom trying to prove to my dad, oh, I married you because I love you, so she had another kid, and that was me, and they just forgot about me.
Damn.
And I just became viable to them because they were sick. So just like you, I did all the errands and everything during the car and all that because they couldn't do it. So I was helping my mom and grandma all the time to make everything keep working. And even though my ex saw that, and even though she had a job where she could get a gaming laptop from Dell on 1 month's pay before she even got here, which was 2009, even way that far ago, she just okay, bye, whatever, and doesn't even call me or nothing. So this is a really bad world, and could even be worse for you. But I think you've got a lot more going on. You're lucky. I mean, I've almost gotten, well, you could say some kinds of bum luck. You could say, I mean, I could have still been having fun living with that girl for a while or something. But all I can tell you is just, you know, be happy for what you got and watch out. Be tactical. Keep being tactical, because, you know, all these different ideas people tell you, you could be worse in another state, or you could have joined the military and you would have never came back because you died.
Yeah, no shit.
So you got a lot to be thankful for, and just remember, I'm mostly, I mean, I wanted to talk about all this stuff, but I just wanted to really tell you all this, you know, for encouragement, to know that there is someone out there that watches your channel all the time, and he's gone through a lot worse even, and still watches you even though, and I've seen all these people who always try to attack you all the time, and I do know about all these podcasts and everything, and how they really work, and you just got to just go and keep going forward with it, because right now there's still people going on. The only thing is, I will say that there's like a lot of the people who run podcasts tend to be like a pariah. Like they already started off as being like I'm provoking everybody because I'm an atheist, and everybody comes to me to go and ask me why do I don't believe in God, and then from there they go on. You know what else I think? But so I don't know. It's kind of harder, but if you still try to find a way, it could really work because we got to do something. And now this is going to get to be so bad, and I still know there's going to be people with jobs, and they're going to be fans of your show or something if you do it right. You just got to really get yourself all together entirely. Like, to start really, really watching a lot of podcasts, because that's what I've been doing for years. And I know if you do it, and over time it'll work out. And you just got to really just have confidence and troll all your trolls all the time. Be like, what are you talking about? I'm here. I'm still trying to do my show. This is work still. It's because I'm working for free now. It doesn't mean I'm working for free later or whatever you're going to say. But yeah, so I mean, just keep all that in mind and keep going on with what's, in the direction you're at, and hope things get better in this world. But all I can tell you is, yeah, I don't know. All I know is, all I'll say to you is, you were doing Uber. I don't have a car for that anymore. I have to do plasma.
Oh, man.
I know. So just, I'm here in Texas where some people said for you to go to, and you're still doing better than I am right now.
Shit.
A lot of the main reason why I'm screwed over is because during my depression times and all that, I had enough better, so I was just a little bit enough better in life. And I had a car accident one time because, there I am just joyriding and doing things just a little bit and certain times, to go Jack in the Box or whatever like everybody does. And now with how bad my back is, I don't even think I could have gone to get the job at Amazon to lose it. Because I get sciatica too much in my legs. Yep. So I don't know. All I know is what I said, and I've gone on a lot, but that's because I just really wanted to make sure that you knew all of that, because I don't know how I found you. I think it was a Fox News thing or whatever they were trying to do when they put you on TV, and I already saw you from when your channel started.
Oh, you mean RT News?
That's where it was from. And that's why I thought it was different, because they do have a certain thing about them too. Yes.
Yeah,
remember that.
Yeah, the unemployed 99er clip.
And that was right around when I was having trouble too. And I was always there, like, just relating to you. And I was like, you know what? I can see all of this. He's right. And a lot of people just want to say stuff because they got lucky to be more qualified. They keep going through these extra hoops and how much harder it is, and they don't realize that no matter if they can do it, they won't be able to do it later. There's always going to be a time where you get caught in the rat trap. Everybody's right now is pretty much already obsolete in the future. Oh, can you afford to go and the time to go back to school and get recertified? It's just, it's not. And everybody thinks that it's good in the rest of the world. No, the rest of the country is going to become just like all the bad parts of the country. Because you screw that up, then everybody runs the other states, and there's not enough jobs for anybody because everybody has to live. So if they couldn't get the job there, but they're qualified for it, they're coming to your state. So that's what I always saw. I was like, you know what, this person's right. They're just ahead of the curve because everything happens first in the worst parts of America.
Yep.
And so just know all of that. Just know all of that. And thank you for letting me call.
Yeah, for sure. I thought that was a good call. I mean, some of the commenters were wanting me to move on, but I thought it was a good, that was a good one to keep on. Basically, what I'm trying to say.
Well, sure. I don't know. Sorry, but yeah.
No, it's fine. It's I thought it was like I said. I really did think it was a good call. So, and I think other people will as well later on when they hear this. After the fact that it's not live. So.
All right. I'll see you. Bye bye.
All right, man. You take care.
All right.
All right, guys. We're going on over an hour with this. I got to take a bathroom break and stuff, and I might have to. I might be going out with my friends somewhere. I'm not sure. I need to find out. So if anything, I'll either come back right now or I'll do it later tonight. But but I am enjoying doing these live call-in shows. So this is definitely not going to end here. So with all that being said and done, I'm going to wrap this one up here right now, even though I got another call right now. But like I said, I got to run to the bathroom and stuff. So I'm going to break it here. And if, I am going to come back eventually. So just stay tuned to Network 126 if you want to hear more of these, because they are going to be constantly pouring out of my channel. So leave your comments down below in the comments section. And if you'd like to be part of the show, let me know in the comments as well. Let me know what you'd like to talk about and all that kind of stuff, and maybe like when you're available kind of thing, and we can coordinate. You can text me at the hotline number 1-802-738-0126. Just send any text message to me, day or night, 24/7, and you can let me know that way too, and we can try to coordinate. I'm getting another one right now, guys. I really got to go, but depending on what's going on, I'll either come back like in a few minutes or I'll come back later tonight. But like I said, I am really enjoying doing these, and they will continue definitely for sure. So big shout out to my mod, Final Fantasy there. Where's Ryan K? Was Ryan K in here somewhere? I don't think Ryan K was here. Oh yeah, there's Ryan K. So anyway, big shout out to my mods, Ryan K and Final Fantasy 8911. Yeah, quite a show, huh? I mean, I thought it was a good show. That's why I kept the guy on. So I know there's going to be varying opinions, but hey, this is Network 126, just a very random channel. Rate, comment, and subscribe.